When? We got a letter from Mama.
I thought she was dead. What she want with us now? Where she been at?
She's on her deathbed. If we don't go now, this might be our last chance to see God.
God.
She made us, didn't she?
Girls, I'm gonna make this real simple. Make your daddy dead. Real dead.
This seems a little crazy.
Not as crazy as setting your wife on fire in front of your kids, then abandoning them.
We ain't killers.
How we gonna live with ourselves if we do this?
This destiny type shit.
Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me.
You ready?
Yeah.
The lady he took up with after he burnt us up, find her and you'll find him. Lady by the name of Divine.
Yo, ain't shit, devil!
You're his girl.
Oh, hell no.
You in trouble? Chuck Hall's got your back.
Just tell us where he at.
For fear that it would wag, he took my time. We gon' kill him.
We clapping.
Tell us where to find him. You're alive?
We drumming.
So y'all think y'all just gonna kill him?
Imagine what our lives would look like if he hadn't done it.
Fire burnt his house down.
It was born for burning.
I don't wanna hear no yeah, 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 yeah.
Ain't nobody innocent.
La, 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 la. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't want nothing but blood.
Why don't you sit with me? Seems like we got a lot to talk about.
Shalom. First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Chakwadash. Fuck. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and Rulewell. Peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect. Noise in the gospel, brother, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is another lesson through the Spirit. This is this new movie coming out with Vivica Fox. Title is God is some wickedness. But basically, this shows you the wickedness of Eve and the exposure of how these black women really feel, because the first thing you get is that these women may be witches, sorcery. I was reading something yesterday briefly, how it was titled that Hollywood has done black witches no justice or some shit, which witchcraft is wickedness, man, all right? But clearly she said, make your daddy dead. Now, it's probably some type of twist to this movie, whatever, because, you know, if hindsight, it looks like that she's just straight up targeting Jake, which I wouldn't be surprised, because this is, you know, what Hollywood promotes, and, you know, they promote the angry black woman because Keisha, she's angry, you know, and she has a unjustifiable hatred towards our male counterpart, which is not even Jake's fault. It's your fault that we're in this predicament. But it looks like she was burnt up, you know, and look like she's on her deathbed. And of course, in the movie, they're gonna demonize the man and made it seem like she was just a loving wife, and how she was just this submissive wife, and all of a sudden the nigga probably had another woman and probably tried to do her dirty for insurance money. You know, the whole twist. Like when you watch that movie, Diary of a Mad Black Woman, they made it seem like the black woman was just so spectacular and so great and good, to the point that the husband she was dealing with, he was just a piece of shit slime ball. And that's usually how, you know, the narrative pushes it, because Esau has to keep the war between Keisha and Jake alive because it's profitable, you know. And Esau understands that without the family dynamic, our nation would totally be in shambles, and this is why Yahweh Shah has to come back, you know. So he understands that when you destroy a family unit, then there's no profit in that. So if he can keep the black man divided against the so-called black woman or the nigger woman, then he understands that there's no structure for the children, there's no wealth, all right, there's nothing but confusion, and she's gonna use Esau to totally rule over Jake, and Esau knows that. So this is another reason why he pushed this shit in Hollywood. Prime example, man, Lawrence Fishburne, he did a interview way back in the 90s. I think even in the 2000s, about the role he played as Ike Turner, and the movie What's Love Got to Do With It. And he said that people actually hated him for playing that role because that's what they portrayed. They portrayed Ike like he was just some type of male, misogynist, which misogynist goes into like a strong dislike of women, you know, misogyny, which we don't dislike women, all right? But it looked like, you know, they showing it looked like when he set her on fire, they made it seem like, you know, whatever it may be. But basically, this is the black woman getting retribution against the black man, all right? But anyway, going back to the interview that he did, he said people really wanted to hurt him because of how good of a role he played Ike, which that's Hollywood's version of that movie. People don't understand that Tina Turner had a baby by a whole nother nigga that was in Ike's band, and that Tina Turner was just as abusive as Ike, and they both was on drugs, you know? And yeah, he used to beat her ass, but it wasn't just no one-side show. She used to provoke a lot of that shit. And when he started to lose control of his woman to the so-called Jew, then, you know, Ike, he got on drugs, and he, you know, he did what he did, and, you know, rest is history. But they don't show that in the movie. They made it seem like Ike was just a cokehead, and, you know, he just wanted to beat up women, and that wasn't really always the case. Even though Ike wasn't no saint, of course he wasn't, you know, we know this. But the point is, they always give this black woman a fucking pass to our wickedness, man. And this movie proves to be just that. They gonna make it seem like the black man is just this evil beast, and he just burnt this bitch up because he didn't like her, you know. And watch how many black women are gonna go and see this movie. Okay, watch how many black women, and you brothers out there, I encourage y'all to go see this movie and do like a litmus test on it, you know, because I may go check it out just to see how these women react to it. Because when you look at the comment boards and you look at the feminism that's going on about the hatred for black men, black women are all too supportive of it. And this is why I should make it easy for you brothers out there to not choose these type of women to deal with outside of recreational purposes, because they tell you how they feel about you. Go on some of these thread forums or some of these Facebook forums when you got men and women discussions, and it's one in particular that I'm subscribed to, which is the Kevin Samuels forum. And it's a lot of women in there that really don't like Jake Men, okay? Because Jake Men is calling out the inconsistencies of this nigga woman, man. All right? So with that being said, watch how many black women are gonna go up and watch this movie, and watch how many be applauding at the angry black woman, and if she's able to get some type of revenge on Jake, because they're gonna throw a twist in there. They're gonna make it seem like she was a loving wife, all right? But they're not gonna show the adulterous side of her. They're not gonna show the combative side. They're not gonna show the angry side and the disrespectful side. But they're gonna show she was a good wife to a pig of a man that wanted to sleep with white women or have as many women as he want, and basically, you know, just do it dirty. They always show Jake in that light all the fucking time, man. So it's no surprise there. But nonetheless, this movie is gonna do a lot of niggas gonna go see this shit, you know. And this shit exposed Keisha for what she really is: angry, combative, feminist, man-hating. And this is nothing more but Esau's way of keeping Jake divided in his families, man. Okay, here the truth is out, and we're waking up to who we are. Jake is waking up to who they are, the women. And yet Esau, he's constantly throwing his shit in the midst to break up the, you know, to continue tension among our families, man. And this is why Yahweh Bashimi Havashai has to come and destroy this fucking devil, because a movie like this will actually make a woman hate her man, man. What's love got to do with it? Did it? And that was based on, that was non-fiction, like that was a work of fiction to the fullest. And yet, you know, women was pissed off at men, and that created more tensions between the black man and the so-called black man, or the Israelite man and the Israelite woman. Hell, I remember my mom watching that movie, and when Ike was choking her and raping her in the booth, which was a pretty disturbing scene. But you know, my mom, she was very emotional behind it. She really felt some type of way, you know, not knowing that half you fucking women, you need to be put in your goddamn place, because you out of pocket, man. And that's just what it is. And a lot of you know you out of pocket. You just ain't got no system to tell you the truth about it, man. All right, they're lying to your ass. But anyway, let's get a couple of precepts here. It's not going to be a long lesson, but this is the book of Proverbs 9 and 13. It says, a foolish woman is clamorous. She is simple and knoweth nothing. And all you women are foolish out there. Majority of you. You clamorous, you talk too damn much. You out of pocket. Okay, you don't take correction. And when a so-called black man makes a point, you always got something. You always got a rebuttal to it. Instead of just shutting the fuck up and letting the point be and learning from it and growing from it and being humble and respectful, you always got to interject your opinion because you think you're better than the man. But if there was the so-called white man, you would sit there and sit with your legs crossed like a puppy dog all goddamn day, man. And Ike said that when he was trying to feed her the cake. He said, see, when I asked her to sing, she ain't gonna open her mouth. But the white man tell her to sing, she open and she sing all goddamn day long. And hey, he was on point with that because that's how these women are, man. Mainly Keisha. Pay attention, brothers, man. When you see the black woman interact with the so-called white man, it's a whole different interaction than with you. And I know this for a fact because I've witnessed this personally in my own life. I've seen it. I've been the victim of it, man. I've been in restaurants or stores when a so-called white man come up to the counter, and Keisha has the most nicest, respectfulest, humbling demeanor to this man. But then when I come up to the register, the bitch don't even speak to me. She just look at me like, yeah, what you want? And I'm just like, damn, it's like that. I thought customer service was equal across the board, but apparently it's not when it comes to us. So this is why we tell you brothers out there, don't waste your time with these women, man. All right, they're for recreational purposes only. And if you find you one that's decent, then hey, deal with her. Okay, because we're not gonna say there's no decent sisters out there, because some of them are waking up. But as a collective, majority of them just gonna die, and you got to be cool with those odds, man. All right, me, I don't feel no type of way about it because it is what it is. You know, it has to happen, and it's part of prophecy. But it says she is simple and foolish and clamorous and knoweth nothing. And the clamorous woman is one that don't know how to shut her mouth, man. Constantly talking. Then when somebody goes upside that head, then all of a sudden now you the one that's getting hit with a domestic violence, man. This is a sick ass world, man, and we need deliverance from it, like today. You know? Proverbs 11, and I'm gonna start at verses 11 and 22. It says, as a jewel of gold in the swine's snout, so is a fair woman, which is a pretty woman, is without discretion. And they have no discretion. Because believe it or not, you're going to have some fine ass Keishas that's going to go and see this movie, man. You know, and that's going to get turned out by it because of the hatred. Because of what they heard their mama say, their auntie say, their sister say, they best friends say. And one thing about it, single women keep other women single. And that you must know. If you got a married woman and she has a bunch of single friends, I guarantee you're going to have nothing but trouble in that relationship. Mark my words, man. Because single bitches keep other bitches single. All right, especially when they ain't got one that's going to tell them the truth. One that's going to tell them, hey, you need to be quiet when this man is talking. You rarely have that. You know, unless it's the elderly. But you rarely have that. You rarely have the younger women and the women of mid-age telling their daughters or their sisters or their nieces or whatever it may be that when a man is talking, you respect him. But instead, they teach him that, well, look, you can do better than that. If he's not hearing you and he's not adhering to your standards and he's not piping to your tune, then go find you somebody better, which totally destroys her in and out. Reason why they got high body counts, man. So, hey, women solidify other women's whoredom. All right? Period. In Proverbs 14. This Hollywood is witchcraft, man. And like I said, this is a wicked ass system, man. All right? But this is the book of Proverbs 14:1. Every wise woman buildeth her house, but the foolish pluck it down with her hands. Yeah, every wise woman build her house, man. Meaning they knowing how to operate. They know the business ethic. They know what their husbands require, you know, and they're totally in respect to their husbands, man. All right? Ain't no compromising, at least most of the time. And when I say compromising, meaning that she's okay with the authority that he lays down. Meaning that if he have a certain rule of his house, she's not bucking up to challenge it because it makes her feel some type of way because she wants to be free. No. All right? If I have a certain rule, dinner is to be made by 6 o'clock. The children are to be in bed by 7:30. All right? You were to be in the house before sunset. All right? You were to not have male friends. You need to be cool with that. All right? That don't mean having an Instagram or Facebook full of niggas that you following or that's following you, that shit is out of order, man. And I behoove you brothers to never take women like that serious, because if you do, you're gonna have a problem with it. Okay, trust me. But every wise woman that builded her house, but the foolish pluck it down with her own hands. Yeah, child support, breaking up the families, all because, you know, they don't like the man, or because they feel like the man doesn't have authority. These women would destroy their homes based on false narratives, man. I've seen it before. Okay, I was a product of it, man. You know, moms and pops and moms couldn't really get along. To this day, I still don't know the dynamic of their relationship. She don't ever tell me about it, you know, which I don't think she will. But it's not fair that I can't know the ins and outs of my father because some bitter ass woman that I call a mother. You see what I'm saying? And but a lot of it is like that. She'll never tell you what she did wrong in a situation, but it was always him, you know. But anyway, they'll deliberately keep the child away from the father to punish the father, and the child suffers in the end because the child grows up with these questions and hating the father without not knowing his side of the story. You know, like my pops, he's in the spirit world. And yeah, I spent time with him. You know, I knew my father. You know, I like to know him more than what I did, but I can never get his side of the story as to why things were, because he's dead now. You know, and I can't expect my mother to be transparent with me and let me know what's up, because that ain't in her nature. Most times, they ain't gonna be real about that. They just gonna gaslight you. You know? Same thing with my daughter, man. You know, I got a daughter. The minute she was born, I spent every day with my daughter and the baby mama. She was pregnant after the baby came out. But when the baby was coming, you know, I was there thick and thin from day one. As soon as my daughter get in this world, all of a sudden I get banned from the house. I can't go back over to baby mother's house because she was living with the mother at the time. I couldn't go back over. I couldn't spend a night. And if I was to go over there, it was only to provide money or diapers or whatever the fuck it was gonna be. So basically, long story short, I was just basically what they call a resource. They didn't want me to be a father, you know, shit like that. So, you know, you gotta force your way sometimes. But after the baby girl was born, I was told I couldn't come over there no more because the bitch baby mama suffered from postpartum depression, which that ain't got nothing to do with me, man. All right, a lot of that postpartum shit go from the high body counts and the medicines that they already put in you bugged out bitches, man. And that's where a lot of it come from. But the doctor would say, well, you know, she's stressed out because, you know, the father and mother was fighting. It ain't got nothing to do with that all the time, man. And a lot of times, if there is tension in the situation, it's because of the goddamn woman. You know, everybody builds her up. The baby shower, everything is revolving around her. The baby shower, the baby, everybody commends her for carrying a seed in her that she's designed to do, but nobody gives the father credit for actually bringing a goddamn life into the world, man. It goes into that in Wisdom of Solomon, how we're compacted through the seed of men. But this world, it pushes a gynocentric, matriarchal vibration. And this is why a lot of these men in this world emotional as all hell, because they're under the vibration of this damn woman, man. This is why we got to get the fuck up out of here. Excuse my French, but it's very disturbing to have to deal with this shit, man. A bunch of disgruntled, angry ass, bitter black women, bro. And men too. You know? Hold on real quick. Let me get this. That Queen of Heaven spirit is real, man. Queen of Heaven. And this movie is going to be based on that Queen of Heaven shit. You can just tell it the way that it is. It's the book of Jeremiah 44 and read verses 17. Matter of fact, let's start at 16. It says, as for the word that thou hast spoken unto us in the name of Yahweh Shai, or the Yahweh Shalakia, we would not hearken unto thee. So basically, niggas said, the hell with the Most High. They don't want to deal with him. It says, but we certainly do whatsoever thing goeth forth out of our own mouth to burn incense to the Queen of Heaven. And that's the spirit that the society come in. Women worship. To pour out drink offerings into her. And that's what they do spiritually in these churches. This is what they do with the feminism. This is what they do with the whole Mother's Day shit. All right. Mama's Day. Oh, your mama this, your mama that. It's your mama. But these mothers ain't to be celebrated because they totally are responsible for a race of fallen people, man. A fallen race of people. It's the fucking woman's fault. All right. That we fail. Yeah, Adam has something to do with it too because he listened. But it's you women's fault. The reason why we're in the predicament that we in. And the Bible proves that. But it says, burn incense unto the queen of heaven, to pour out drink offerings into her, as we have done, we and our fathers and our kings and our princes in the city of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem. Because Jake has the biggest simp spirit out there, man. Okay, them Judite niggas, them the biggest mama's boy, man. All right, the biggest mama's boy. Jacob was a mother's boy, you know, but he wasn't no simp. But it says, our fathers, our kings, and the princes of the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem. For then we had plenty of victuals and were well and saw no evil. But since we left off to burn incense to the queen of heaven, to pour out drink offering into her, we have wanted all things and have been consumed by the sword and by the famine. And when we burnt incense to the queen of heaven and poured out drink offering into her, did we make her cakes to worship her and to pour out drink offerings unto her without our men? Okay, because Jake felt they had benefits when they worshiped the women, man. But then Jeremiah said it to all the people, to the men, to the women, and to all the people which have given him that answer, saying, the incense that ye burned in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem, ye and your fathers, your kings and your princes, and the people of the land, did not the Lord remember them? And it came not into his mind. So that Yahweh can no longer bear because of the evil of your doings and because of the abominations which ye have committed before you. Is your land a desolate and an astonishment and a curse without inhabitants to this day. So this is why the Most High is jacking us up, because you're in that wicked spirit. No, my mama, man. You can't say about that. Nigga used to get into a fight because you called a nigga mama fat. And the crazy part about it is the bitch is fat, man. She take up 2 love seats in a goddamn cushion couch, man. And she is fat, 300 plus pounds. But because you call her fat, you got to get into a fist fight at the fucking yard, man. You know, this is why you niggas gotta die, bro. For real. Sick and tired of you Jakes, man. But it says, because ye have burnt incense and because ye have sinned against Yahweh, ye have no obeyed the voice of the Lord, nor walked in his law, nor in his statutes, nor in his testimonies. Therefore, this evil is happening to you as this day. This is why the freaking woman is above us now, man. All right. And it is vexing and it's stupid, man. It's like, goddamn, it's the worst because we ain't got our women on this side. Jeremiah 31:22, it says, how long wilt thou go back about, O thou backsliding daughter? It says, for the Most High have created a new thing in the earth. A woman should compass a man. And this is why we see in movies like this. And fair use, by the way, on that preview. I hope they don't give me a strike. If so, then I'll just take that off and just re-upload the video. So that's why. But it's kind of bittersweet now because, you know, I was talking through the midst of the video. But Lord's will, they don't tag it. You know. These women are completely out of order, man. Like right now I see 2 dyke bitches walking together and she flinches and jumps at her. Like she gonna... Lord have mercy, man. I don't know how much more we can deal with this. You know, this shit is wicked as hell, man. It's vexing. And you brothers, you men in here that want to stay in America, fuck you, man. All right? The hell with you. Sirach 25 and 24. Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. That's straightforward. Of the women came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Micah 7:10, and I end it. Then she that is my enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where's the Lord thy power? Thy power. It says, my eyes should behold her. Now she should be trodden down as the mire of the streets, man. All right. So anyway, with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, Bashim, Kakadash. Lord's will, you edify to the next lesson. Shalom.